Most men are taught to talk to women by asking questions. What do you do? Where are you from? What do you like? It sounds polite. It sounds interested. But psychologically, it does something dangerous. It places you beneath the interaction. Machiavelli understood power long before dating advice existed. The one who asks seeks approval. The one who states sets the frame. Conversation is not an exchange of information. It's an exchange of position. Questions hand control to the other person. Statements quietly claim it. This doesn't mean interrogating less or talking more. It means speaking in a way that assumes presence, certainty, and direction, without chasing validation or permission. Men who rely on questions try to earn comfort. Men who speak in statements create it. And women feel that difference instantly. This approach isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about understanding how authority, calmness, and psychological gravity are communicated through language. Machiavelli wasn't teaching men how to be liked. He was teaching them how to be respected. Respect precedes attraction, and respect is felt before it's explained. If you want to understand communication as power, presence, and psychology, not surface-level dating tips, subscribe to the channel. Here, we break down attraction, influence, and human behavior the way it actually works, not the way it's advertised. 1. Control the frame, not the conversation. Most men misunderstand what leading in conversation actually means. They think it's about talking more, being louder, or dominating airtime. It isn't. Leadership in conversation is about framing, defining the emotional context in which the interaction takes place. The frame answers an unspoken question. Who is setting the tone here? When a man opens with questions, he hands that responsibility away. He waits for cues. He reacts. He positions himself as someone seeking alignment rather than creating it. Even when the questions are polite or intelligent, the subtext is the same. I'm adjusting to you. Statements do the opposite. They establish a reality and invite the other person to step into it. A man who says, "You seem like someone who enjoys intensity," isn't asking for permission to engage. He's proposing a frame, calm, grounded, observational. Whether she agrees or disagrees, he's leading the emotional direction. This doesn't mean avoiding dialogue or curiosity. It means leading first, then allowing interaction to unfold within the structure you've set. Think of conversation as a room. Questions ask for entry. Statements build the walls. Emotion follows structure. When you define the pace, mood, and energy, the other person relaxes into responding rather than managing the interaction. This is especially powerful with women, who are often attuned to emotional dynamics long before words are processed consciously. The man who controls the frame doesn't chase engagement. He assumes it. He speaks slowly, without urgency. His statements aren't explanations, they're observations. He doesn't rush to fill silence, because silence doesn't threaten his position. Silence becomes part of the frame. This is why excessive questioning feels needy even when intentions are good. Need is not about desire. It's about uncertainty of position. Questions signal, I'm waiting for direction. Statements signal, I already have one. Machiavelli understood that power is rarely seized aggressively. It is assumed calmly. The same principle applies here. Control the frame, and the conversation follows naturally. Chase the conversation and the frame is already lost. You don't need to impress. You need to define. 2. Statements create gravity. Questions create need. Attraction is less about what you say and more about the position from which you speak. Language doesn't just transmit information. It signals certainty, confidence, and self-perception. This is where the difference between statements and questions becomes decisive. Questions create movement toward someone. Statements create gravity that pulls others toward you. When a man asks questions, especially early on, he is seeking orientation. He is signaling curiosity, yes, but also dependence on external input to continue. Even subtle questions like, "Do you like it here?" or "Is that okay?" communicate a need for validation. The speaker waits. The listener decides. Statements reverse that dynamic. A man who says, "This place has a quiet intensity, I like that," isn't asking for agreement. He's declaring perspective. Agreement may come or it may not, but either way his position remains intact. That stability is felt as confidence. Gravity comes from self-possession. Declarative speech signals that you are comfortable with your perceptions and don't require them to be approved. You are not trying to extract interest. You are expressing reality as you see it. This reduces pressure in the interaction. The other person doesn't feel interrogated or responsible for steering the conversation. They respond naturally, often elaborating without being prompted. This is why questions often feel transactional. They imply, "Give me something so I can continue." Statements imply, "I'm already here." Machiavelli emphasized that power lies in appearing unneeding. Need invites control. Certainty invites trust. Importantly, this is not about being rigid or dismissive. Declarative speech can be warm, curious, and playful. The difference is internal posture. You speak from fullness, not lack. Silence strengthens this effect. When you make a statement and allow space afterward, you demonstrate that you're not anxious for response. You're grounded enough to let the interaction breathe. This amplifies gravity. Over time, a pattern emerges. The more you speak in statements, the more others volunteer information. They explain themselves. They lean in. Not because they're being manipulated, but because certainty is calming. Questions can still exist, but they come after gravity is established, not before. Statements don't chase connection. They invite it. And invitation is far more powerful than pursuit. 3. Speak from assumption, not permission. Most men enter conversations seeking permission. Permission to speak, to stay, to be interesting, to take up space. This instinct is subtle, often unconscious, and deeply unattractive. It signals uncertainty about one's right to be present. Attraction operates in the opposite direction. When a man speaks from assumption, he communicates a quiet certainty. I already belong here. Not because someone granted it, but because he decided it himself. Assumption is not arrogance. It is settledness. A man who says, "You strike me as someone who values depth," isn't asking if he's allowed to make an observation. He's making it. The listener can accept it, reject it, or nuance it, but the man's position remains grounded. He didn't ask for permission to perceive. Speaking from permission sounds like, "Can I say something? Is it okay if I'm honest? Do you mind if I join you?" Each phrase subtly places the speaker beneath the interaction, waiting to be granted access. Even when consent is appropriate in action, psychologically leading conversation does not require verbal submission. Assumption creates comfort because it removes friction. When you act as though you already belong, the other person doesn't feel pressure to evaluate you. There's no audition, no performance, just presence. This is why confident men often feel calming rather than impressive. They're not trying to be allowed. Intrigue emerges from this posture. People become curious about those who are self-anchored. When you don't seek validation, others wonder what stabilizes you. Assumption signals that your identity is internally sourced. Machiavelli understood that authority is most powerful when it appears natural rather than demanded. The same applies here. You don't announce dominance. You simply occupy your place without apology. This doesn't mean ignoring social cues or boundaries. It means you don't shrink preemptively. You speak as if your presence is already justified. Assumption shifts the emotional burden. Instead of asking, "Do you accept me?" the interaction subtly becomes, "Do we align?" That reframing alone elevates your position. Belonging is not negotiated. It is embodied, and those who embody it rarely need to ask for it. 4. Reveal selectively, never completely. Inexperienced men believe openness creates closeness. Strategic men understand that selectivity creates gravity. Self-disclosure is not a moral act, it is a psychological one. What you reveal when you reveal it, and how much you reveal determines whether interest deepens or collapses into familiarity. When a man reveals everything too quickly, he removes mystery and leverage at the same time. Oversharing signals emotional urgency. It communicates, "I need to be fully seen now." That need dissolves intrigue and replaces it with emotional labor. The listener becomes a container rather than a participant. Selective revelation does the opposite. A man who offers partial information, enough to suggest depth, not enough to exhaust it, creates curiosity. He allows space for interpretation. He invites questions without asking them. This signals confidence in his internal world. There is more here and I don't need to prove it. Authority grows from restraint. When you speak about your experiences without emotional spilling, you demonstrate regulation. You show that your identity isn't dependent on immediate understanding or approval. This is deeply stabilizing to others, especially women who are sensitive to emotional pacing. Machiavelli warned against full transparency in matters of power, not because secrecy is immoral, but because exposure collapses position. The same principle applies here. Revealing selectively doesn't mean lying or manipulating. It means respecting timing. Depth is earned through mutual rhythm, not dumped as proof of sincerity. Notice the difference. I went through a lot in my last relationship. It taught me restraint versus, let me tell you everything that happened and how it damaged me. The first establishes maturity and invites curiosity. The second demands caretaking. Curiosity sustains attraction. Caretaking suffocates it. When you reveal too much, you also remove your future leverage. There is nothing left to discover. The interaction peaks early and plateaus fast. Selective revelation keeps the interaction alive. You decide what is shared. You decide when, and you are comfortable with being partially known. Complete access is not intimacy, it is exposure. Intimacy is earned disclosure over time. Men who understand this are not distant. They are deliberate. And deliberateness is one of the strongest signals of psychological authority a man can project. 5. End interactions first. Power in interaction is not defined by who speaks last. It's defined by who chooses the ending. Most men stay too long. They linger, extend, over-explain, or wait for a clear signal to leave. This communicates attachment to the outcome. The longer a man waits for permission to exit, the more he signals that the interaction is feeding something he lacks. Ending first reverses that signal. When you choose to leave while the interaction is still positive, you establish 3 things simultaneously: value, scarcity, and self-direction. You demonstrate that your time has structure, your attention is not unlimited, and the interaction is a choice, not a necessity. Scarcity is not manufactured. It is revealed. A man who says, "This was good. I'm heading out," without justification or apology, sends a clear psychological message. I'm not here to extract validation. There is no rush, no eagerness, no fear of loss. The calmness of the exit matters more than the words. This creates leverage because humans instinctively want what doesn't chase them. Ending first also protects your position. Conversations often decay if extended too long. Energy drops. Familiarity replaces intrigue. By leaving early, you freeze the interaction at its peak. The memory remains clean, contained, and positive. Machiavelli emphasized that retreat, when chosen, strengthens authority. It signals control rather than defeat. The same logic applies socially. Importantly, ending first is not a tactic. It's an expression of internal order. You have somewhere to be, even if that place is simply your own life. You are not orbiting the interaction. Many men fear that leaving will reduce connection. In reality, overstaying does far more damage. It communicates dependence, not interest. When you end interactions first, you shift the emotional equation. The other person processes your absence rather than your presence. They fill the space you leave with thought, not relief. This is how leverage works quietly. You don't withdraw dramatically. You don't announce importance. You simply exit cleanly. And clean exits linger. The man who controls his entrances controls perception. The man who controls his exits controls memory. And memory is where attraction consolidates. Machiavelli never taught people how to be liked. He taught them how to stand unshaken in social dynamics where power, perception, and positioning decide outcomes long before words do. Talking to women is not about clever lines or constant engagement. It's about where you are speaking from. Questions seek orientation. Statements create it. Permission asks for space. Assumption occupies it. Overexposure dissolves intrigue. Restraint preserves it. Lingering signals need. Leaving signals self-command. None of this is manipulation when it's rooted in inner stability rather than strategy. Manipulation requires anxiety. Authority requires calm. The man who controls the frame speaks declaratively, assumes belonging, reveals selectively, and exits on his own terms is not playing a game. He is expressing an internally ordered life. Women don't respond to techniques, they respond to coherence. This approach isn't about dominating conversation or suppressing curiosity. It's about understanding that attraction flows toward men who do not seek to extract something from the interaction. When you stop asking to be chosen, you become someone others choose to engage. Machiavelli understood that power is most effective when it doesn't announce itself. The same applies here. When your communication is grounded, measured, and self-directed, you no longer need to chase interest. You simply create conditions where interest emerges naturally. And the moment you stop needing conversation to go a certain way is the moment it starts working in your favor.